Yeah, I told our guys going into this game I thought we had to fight the human element of the game as far as we've been in league play for 10 games straight. You go 9-1. We have a shot to win the league. We put ourselves in that position kind of a little bit over halfway through the league, and now you got to step outside the lines and go play a really good Troy team. But I told the guys I knew we'd prepare the right way. Thought we had some really good practices. I didn't want to I was worried about letting our guard down to a degree just because it wasn't a league game, and that's been our focus. Got a ton of respect for Troy and for Scott Cross. He's a good friend of mine. We've developed a relationship over the last year. Man, just watching them on film and watching them in person, just how hard they play. Kudos to him. That's why they've been a consistent winner every single year. The MAC Sun Belt Challenge, they match up. Usually the top MAC teams play against the top Sun Belt and then all the way kind of down. So to be able to draw a Troy means we got a pretty good team. And our guys put ourselves in position to have this game. And the reason you have it at this time of the year is to hopefully help if you make the tournament, if you can win a game like this, maybe it helps your seed line go from 12 to 11 and increases your probability of winning that NCAA tournament game. So big win for us today. Wasn't pretty. I thought we had some wide open looks, quite frankly, didn't drop. Told our guys keep on shooting the ball. We were either turning it over or we were getting wide open looks. It's hard to simulate the way that Troy plays with our scout team, just the size, the physicality, the athleticism that they have. I thought once our guys figured it out a little bit, kind of halfway through the first half, I thought our offense got a lot better, because they switch everything. They're physical, they're aggressive, they turn you over. But I thought we had a lot of production off, obviously, our bench. I've said it before. Obviously, Reese didn't play. He hasn't played the last 2 games. He'll play the next game, though. I'd anticipate him. We had to play small. So we haven't really practiced that a lot. We were playing Brand at the 5, Peter at the 5. You just figure it out. It's the next man up mentality. We figured that out pretty good. We got smart dudes. But the bench production that we had with Brant, Evan Ipsaro, and Luke Skaljak was phenomenal. Huge difference in the game, in my opinion. And I've said it, we got 9 guys who can start. So that's the strength of our team. Obviously, our attention will turn very quickly here to Toledo. We got a quick turn and got a ton of respect for what they do. Coach Kowalczyk has won 4 regular season titles in a row here in the MAC. They got a really good team again this year, so we need to get this place packed out here for Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Coach, the last couple of days you said you asked your team to play a full 40 minutes. Where does this performance stack up against that statement?
Yeah, some of the turnovers, and it's what they do. They create them. They're really good at it. Our defense was pretty good. I thought overall pretty good. I really did. I thought we competed. I thought we played hard. We can't be as sloppy with the ball though, But that's again, they're a really good team. They do that to everybody. It seems like they're one of the top teams in the country in forcing turnovers. It's how they play. They foul a lot. You got to play through that physicality. I think we're getting better. I do. It's an improvement, but it's not where I want it to be yet though.
You've talked about the importance of winning different types of games. Obviously, today's game was in the 60s. We haven't seen a ton of games like that this year. What's the importance of winning a type of game like this?
Yeah, I think good teams have an ability to win ugly, win pretty, win fast-paced game, slow-paced game. When you're not shooting well, like we didn't shoot well first half. I don't know what we were from 3. Golly, we were 5 for 17. I'm gonna tell you, 10 of them were naked. Wide open. The only guy in the gym type shots. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like we make those, it may have felt very, very differently. The game may have felt very differently, but there's going to be nights where you don't shoot as well. And how do you win those games? You got to be able to win with your defense. You got to be able to play hard. We're a two-way team. I think a lot of people have talked about our offense, but you look at our defensive analytical numbers here in league play, and they've gotten a lot better since league play. We take a lot of pride on that end. So, because in March, to win 3 games in 3 days in Cleveland, are you going to shoot well all 3 games? Probably not. That's the answer. So you got to be able to win an ugly game like this in order to win the MAC tournament.
And Luke Skaljak really stepped up last game at Central Michigan, had a couple big shots here today, a couple steals defensively as well. What do you think he could bring to the team as we hit the home stretch?
Yeah, it's hard for him because he got injured, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. and he gets taken out of the lineup, doesn't practice for about a week and a half, and then you get thrusted back into it, and it's hard, man. He didn't have a lot of success early coming back. Hard to get your rhythm, especially for a freshman, first time going through college basketball. But he's kind of figured it out. You know, he stayed in the gym. He got extra work in with Coach Holmes, extra film in with Coach Holmes, and it's really paid off. He's a dynamic playmaker, man. He can score from anywhere, all three levels. He can make every pass out of a pick and roll. I think you're just scratching the surface of how good Luke can be, and we need him to do that because he gives us he's a big difference maker. I don't think anybody else in the league has coming off their bench.
Coach, what can you say about Brant Byers' performance? I mean, he really is your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, you know, again, it's funny. Like Brant, when we recruited him, a lot of people kept on talking about his ability to shoot, right? And he can. I mean, he's an elite shot maker, being 6'7", 6'8". When you really watch him out there, it's like, we did this in AAU. Like he played for Team Thrill, which was the best team on the Under Armour circuit, arguably the best AAU team in the country. Derek Queen, the big kid at Maryland, was his AAU teammate. Brant has zero back down. Zero. Like he is tough. He doesn't maybe outwardly show it because he's not like an emotional guy, but like he is physical. He embraces physicality. He's a prick in a good way. I've said that about Ipsaro, describing him before. So's Brant. And he is fearless, man. He rebounds, he cuts, he leads us in dunks, right, on the year. Man, he's really improved. His growth from when he first got here to now has just been, man, just super pleased. But it's his day to day. It's just how he operates. It's why he's above a 3.5 GPA. He's just a great dude, man. He's gonna be successful no matter what he does in life.
And Coach, you're on the non-conference slate, going 9-4. How does that prepare you for the MAC tournament?
I think in a big way. Like, listen, we needed this game because I told our guys, you know, like we needed to keep our momentum going, and this would be a big win for us. You look at their analytical data, Troy. I mean, Ken Pomeroy. I always go back to him. He had us losing this game. All right, he had us losing the game by 1, I believe. So he upset Ken today again. I love that. But like, again, 9-4 for us is big because it gives us momentum and it prepares us for league play. I don't know when the last time we've won 18 games. I don't know all that data stuff, all that stats stuff. I leave that up to Lamar and Carl and those guys, man. I don't get. But like they said, hey fellas, we won 18 games. I said, but listen, if we're here to win 18 games, then we got the wrong guys. We do. Like the standard here is to get this thing to the NCAA tournament in advance, and that's where we're heading, right? And just you got to take it one day at a time. But again, I am pleased with the growth that we've had. It's awesome, but we're not where we want to be yet.
Travis, we've called this, at least from the outside, such a special season. As you just said, you now have 18 wins, a chance to win a league title. How well equipped do you think this team is to potentially make a run in March?
I think it is. I think we got great player leadership. I think that's probably where it starts. You know, Suter, Ipsaro, and Lures were all voted as captains by their teammates, right? Not by me. I didn't give them that title. They were voted by, and those guys, just the day-to-day of how they live their lives, whether it's how they prepare. They're just getting better and better, man. That's the most coachable group I've ever been around. High character guys. We have zero maintenance, which is almost unheard of. Because I've been in college basketball for, man, a long time now, 20-some years, and I could probably count that on one hand. Well, our culture's great. Our culture carries us every single day. It really does. And I think that's a buzzword, obviously, a lot of people talk about. But it's the guys in the locker room that have helped create that culture and then maintain that culture every single day, right? And they hold each other accountable to it. And I think that's why we'll continue to get better here through February and into March and hopefully make that big run.
Can you just tell me what it's been like from your perspective to go on a ride like this season with this group?
Just blessed, fortunate, lucky, whatever the word you want to use, you can use all those. Listen, it's a joy to be around every single day. Like I said, I genuinely look forward to being around our guys every day. And whether it's win, loss, like we got beat. We took a beat down at Akron. But I love coaching our group. I do. We found guys that we can lose with. Like I'm good. Like because I know we're gonna play hard. I know the intent's always gonna be right. Are we always gonna play perfect? No, we're not. But the intent's right. The effort's right. And it's hard to come. I mean, again, super fortunate, super lucky to be here with this group of guys and help lead these guys hopefully into a big deep run here in March.
Coach, just for your own knowledge, it was 2006, 2007 the last time Miami had 18 wins. So, first of all, congratulations on that. But you've talked a lot about the switchability of your players and their versatility, and we saw that today, especially after Antoine Woolfolk went to the bench and picked up what looked to be a back injury. So, could you talk a little bit more about just how versatile your team is and able to fill in for some of those injured players?
Yeah, so it's funny, man. Like you know all the data, so you're a data guy, so you're like, God, you had that ready to go, didn't you? Which is impressive. We got smart guys. We really do. Like Peter, he could play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He can play whatever you want. He could probably play every instrument in the band down there too. He can do the drums, he can do the flute, he can do everything. Brant, same thing. Ian, same thing. We got all these guys that are intelligent. Just so you know, we haven't practiced that. But we figured out on the fly. I kind of guide them, and they kind of figure it out. And they're smart dudes, man. And they play for Miami right in front. And then their defensive versatility is just as important, right? Like Evan is 5'0", right? But man, he's tough. He's an absolute warrior. He is a warrior. You don't want to get in a wrestling match with Evan Ipsaro. Like same thing with Cooper. Those guys are tiny, but they're tough. They'll be down there on the big guys. We'll have Brant Byers out on the perimeter. Shot goes up. You're going to see, like, Brant's in a freaking battle blocking out. Like, our guys' intent. I mean, how about that play that Peter had diving out of bounds in the first half, and then they ended up getting a foul Troy did on that play. Like, man, our guys just play so gosh darn hard, and there's just so much, versatility on our roster. That's why we built it this way. So if you do go down a guy, right, it's easier to make up for it because you got high IQ guys that can do a lot of different things on the floor.
Coach, you played with the lead for over 28 minutes today. Had pretty good lead there in the second half, and then they started chipping away. A lot of pressure. You're going to see pressure anyway because people are trying to slow you down.
Yep.
But when you get like that, you got a lead and everything. They're really gonna bring it. How do you feel about whether there's room for improvement in dealing with that pressure down the stretch?
I think we've been really good with it recently. Like really, really good. Usually we go to kind of our, I don't know what Chuck Martin would call it, his ball security lineup or whatever he wants to do kind of end a game to put a game away for football. We do the same thing. Usually we play Cooper and Ipsaro together, and you ain't taking our ball, right? Like Cooper had a tough game today. He's a really good player. I got all the confidence in the world in him. But it is what it is, So like we didn't handle it as well today. But I do think I told our group coming out of the one time, I said, fellas, we've been in this moment several times this year. We've had a 5-6 point lead. We got to take care of the ball. You got to meet the pass. You got in which Ian didn't. Right? On his when his shoe fell off, we got fortunate. You have to be strong with the ball. You got to work to get open. We have 3 timeouts. Use them when you need them because I can't call a timeout until the last minute of the game, obviously, from the bench, which Peter called a couple, which was good. But just being able to, we got again smart guys that understand how to win, and you can't put a price tag on that. You cannot put a price. But again, we weren't great with it today. Not as good as I want to be. But a lot of our turnovers happen throughout the game, man. Just physicality and their deflections, and that's what they do. And give them credit. Scott Cross is a tremendous coach.
Ian, before the game, Coach Steele talked about how physical this game was going to be, talking about Troy's physicality. How was it actually being out there and dealing with that physicality on the floor?
They were definitely physical, but it's not like any pressure that we haven't faced before. We dealt with that in Michigan, Akron, so we knew how it was going to be just coming in.
Team had to face a lot of pressure today, and traps double teams, especially coming down the stretch there. How do you feel about this team's ability to be able to weather that kind of pressure?
I'm very confident in our guards to make the right plays in those moments. So I'm like on the court and I'm just stress free when they have the ball in their hand.
Going into the final 8 games of the MAC play, what lessons do you think this game taught you that you can bring into the last stretch of the season?
That we can play physical too. What happened at Akron is they punked us, and this is a game that shows we're definitely a team that's still maturing, and we're capable of doing things that most teams think we can't handle. Anybody else?
With Reese out of the lineup, is that put a little bit more pressure on some of the other taller, bigger people in the lineup?
we just look at it as next man up. You know, like of course we want them out there, but you know we can't just focus on not having reach. You know, so if we got to go small ball like we did tonight, you know that's something we'll have to learn to do.
Ian, if it comes down to it, how equipped is this team to make a run in March?
I got all the confidence in the world in this team. Like from every single player to make plays or just go out there and do their role. So I think we can definitely make a run in March.
Ian, you guys had 18 turnovers today. What can you do to clean up those mistakes?
That just starts with film. I feel like it was a lot of forced. We tried to force a lot today, but as the game went on, I think we definitely did get better with the pressure. But we just gotta keep our heads.